every year, County Farm Bureau presidents from across Georgia gather together to share a few meals and talk about old times on the farm. More importantly, however, the trip gives them a voice, a chance to meet face-to-face with members of Congress and express their concerns about the ag issues that affect each and every one of us every single day. As any good farmer will tell you, leaving the spring field work and planting is not an easy pill to swallow. But for the Farm Bureau leaders who travel to Washington each year, this by no means is a mini vacation. This, in fact, is a business trip.
When you understand the power that is here and the history that is here, then you realize and make that connection that your trip has really become valuable. You're a part of the process of having your voice heard in a democratic process, and it becomes very real to you. And so, you know, they may get to see some sights, but they come to work, and they come as volunteers to talk for our agriculture community.
This is kind of the icing on the cake. You know, we go to Atlanta and we deal with our state reps, but when you come up here, this is where all the money comes from. This is where all the money goes. If you don't come up here and try to state your case or plead your case, however we say it, in the big world of government, they'll forget you real quick.
Which certainly brings up a valid question. Given all the issues a U.S. congressman faces on a daily basis, are the voices of American farmers really being heard? Or are these face-to-face meetings just another formality? The Georgia Farm Bureau leaders I spoke with tell me that indeed their voices are being heard.
Absolutely. If I didn't think this was worthwhile, I could be home on a tractor and we could be planting right now. But I feel like this is important enough for all the farmers to get off the tractor, come to Washington and make our voices heard, because I feel like they would rather talk to their constituents, somebody that's actually in the field with dirt under their fingernails, because we know what the problems are and we can convey those problems.
Case in point, funding for the reconstruction of the Southeastern Poultry Research Lab in Athens. USDA has requested $155 million and considers this their #1 priority of all USDA facilities. But time and time again, the money USDA has requested never gets appropriated. And with many of the facilities outdated, some by 50 years or more, Georgia Farm Bureau is urging Congress to support USDA's request. Without the proper funding to make improvements, the Georgia poultry industry could be looking at a major catastrophe.
You know, you start talking about AI, the bird flu, you know, it could be devastating to our area with poultry, you know, because poultry accounts for almost half of the ag income in the state of Georgia. So in the wrong area, it could devastate, and it could devastate banks, of course, farmers, all the integrators. You know, in our area, we probably have 6 or 7 integrators. You start having to eradicate some of those parent flocks, you know, it could cripple the industry. So it's very important that we get those laboratories up to date, because they need to be doing research and stay in front of the disease.
We appreciate what the farmers of Georgia do. We know agriculture is the main business of our state.
The final day of the trip was highlighted by appearances from both Georgia Senators Johnny ISAKSON and Saxby Chambliss, as well as Deputy Secretary of Agriculture KRYSTA Harden. Born and raised in Camilla, Georgia, Harden's parting message to Farm Bureau leaders was this: patience. Patience in allowing her and others to finalize and put into action the many programs of the new Farm Bill.
We started laying as much groundwork as we could over the fall leading into the winter, so we would be ready. But let me remind you, Congress took over 130 weeks to do the Farm Bill. We've had it 7. To do this right, and that's the first thing we want to do, is make sure that it will work for you at home. I think that's why the Secretary asked me to help lead the process, is because I am a farm girl. I'm a phone call away from a farmer who is my daddy and does not mind calling me when we do something wrong. And that I would understand and know how important and valuable it is to make sure that good policy here translates into workable, flexible as it can be, policies for you.
And it goes without saying that all of us at the Georgia Farm Bureau appreciate the congressmen and senators taking time out of their busy schedule to meet with us. Now, later in the show, Mark Wildman will have more from Washington, including the EPA's controversial ruling on water runoff that has ag leaders throughout the country putting on the gloves and gearing up for battle.